Greetings and welcome to the Dr. J Vlog series. It is Tuesday, May 26th, 2026, and I thought I'd post the third of what will be 4 installments on the creative arts under the Thoughts and Reflections subseries. This one's aimed at helping you to identify what are your particular special gifts or even creative genius. Then part 4 will be a bit more philosophical in tying your creative abilities and your efforts to an emerging global consciousness. There's a common belief, born of our egos perhaps, or of some kind of cultural narcissism, that we're living in the most critical stage of human history. And that probably reflects the fact that, depending on your belief system, this is really the only epoch that we'll ever know. Now, whether it's the most important time in history by some kind of broader standards, what we do know is that right now, the present is incredibly important in our own lives. And so what does it all mean? Well, I have a section of the Dr. J Vlog series devoted to the purpose and meaning of life. Hopefully there's some kernels there, some nuggets of wisdom that might be helpful. But today I want to focus much more specifically on the practical aspects of what it's like living in the modern world, and then what should we do with our lives? Let's assume that this is, in fact, your one chance at life. And ask yourself quite seriously then, who are you? And what's important to you? And what do you really want to do with whatever time or however many years you might have on this planet? If you haven't, you've probably done that at some point, but if you haven't, this is something that I honestly would like you to take very seriously and make it a focal point right now at this juncture in your life, wherever you might be. And again, not just in terms of your job or your career. How do you want to organize your life and spend your days on the whole? I understand that might be too broad, too open-ended a question in some senses. You might think, well, there's lots that I would like to do. I want to finish my degree, or I want to get this or that job, or I want to travel the world, or save the trees, or have children, or learn to play the violin, or all of the above, and so much more. But if I could offer one piece of advice to help you out in this regard, it'd be that no matter what the specific endeavors, commit yourself to exercising on a regular basis your creative capacities. I'd like that to infuse your very being and the organization of your life as a whole. Make that the focal point of your existence. If you're busily engaged in creative endeavors, you're almost certainly going to find meaning and happiness. And just as importantly, you'll not be engaged in destructive activities. Again, if you're one of those rare people who somehow finds joy in being destructive or hurting others, then please seek help immediately. But everyone else has creative capacities, certain gifts that bring tremendous joy and are so much more rewarding. So let's do a simple exercise right now. Go with me on this. What are your special gifts? Seriously, give that some thought. What are your special gifts? Where do you have some creative capacities or perhaps even creative genius? I'll come back to the creative genius idea. But for the moment, just identify and write down or type out 3 or 4 or 5 areas where you feel, in all honesty, like you have some real creative abilities. What are your areas? Where are you especially gifted creatively? Well, Mikowski, how to identify these areas? Some of you know quite readily. You have an easy answer to that question, or you've always known, perhaps. Maybe ever since you were small, you've had good penmanship, or you could draw, or you could read quickly and understand quickly, or you could sing or dance, or you could run or jump, or you could read other people's emotions, or you excelled at finding your way through the woods. or you could grow things or fix things, or you were really good at listening, or 1,000 other things. But to really identify your special gifts and creative capacities, you can use these guidelines. So let's go through these to help you identify yours if you don't have them at the top of your mind. So first, it's something that you do readily or naturally, not just at your job, but it's something that infuses all of your daily activities in some way or another. It's something that you're passionate about. Also, your special gift or gifts will shine through across diverse settings and situations. Your special gift probably has been in evidence since your childhood. So again, think back to your younger years and what stood out for you. Fourth, you're probably so good at certain things that you don't even realize it. You take it for granted. It comes so naturally. You might simply think, oh, well, anybody can do this. But no, that's not true. Fifth, other people likely comment or have commented on many occasions about what you're doing particularly well or about a special ability that you have. And those comments, often from diverse sources or peoples, take those quite seriously. They add up, they mean something. And then finally, you'll usually find that you never tired of developing and sharing your gift. In fact, you'll usually realize that not only have you developed your gift over time, or gifts, but you'll likely come to understand in a deeper sense the importance and the meaning of your gift. And then that's how you can shine your light as brightly as you can. So what are your special gifts or abilities? Areas where you feel like you can bring the most light into the world. What do you have a real passion for? A real creative impulse? What have you truly enjoyed doing, perhaps for most of your life? If you didn't have to worry about money or health issues, if you could just focus your energies on what you most love, what would that be? Where are you genuinely most creative based on your self-knowledge and your life experience? Are you a great problem solver? Are you passionate about designing stuff? Are you especially talented with your hands in building or weaving or playing an instrument or in fixing things with those hands? Are you especially adept at helping people learn or taking care of people or helping people get from one place to another? Are you wonderful with crafts, with writing, with humor, with singing or dancing or acting? Are you amazing with animals or with plants or with rock formations or the stars? And so on. Your creative abilities are there somewhere. You have certain gifts that bring joy and light into the world. And that's where I think your focus should be. Some of you are better at creating ideas or knowledge in different fields. Some are better at creating visually or with your hands, as I mentioned a moment ago. Some are more creative in music or other forms of communications or other forms of art. Some are creative in how you approach and care for people, or how you organize lives, or can help people to organize their lives. Some of you have a special talent for connecting with children. Some are really good with languages, again, and so on. Now, for most of us, there's a much longer list of what we're perhaps not so good at. So, for example, I've never been good with penmanship, with drawing, or painting, or pottery, or dancing, or golfing, or 1,000 other things. Sure, I could learn more about each of these. I could practice. I could become better. But they're not my special gifts. That's all I'm saying. And they don't fit neatly into the criteria that I outlined previously. When I was young, in grade 6, for example, one of my best friends, nowadays Dr. Tony Kim, he and I finished all the math for the year by December, I believe. And so our teacher gave us special math assignments, got some new books, etc., for the second half of the year. We were the only two who had this privilege, if you will. We weren't math geniuses, I don't think, but we were advanced, and she saw that we needed a challenge. But again, that wasn't my special gift, or Tony's, I don't think. I still like math quite a bit, and I teach advanced statistics at the university, but it's not my true passion in life, my special gift. It might be Tony's son Justin's passion because he earned a BS in mathematics from Caltech, and then he earned a PhD from Wharton at the University of Pennsylvania in statistics. I say might because Dr. Justin Kim would have to speak to that particular issue. I liked sports as a youngster. Maybe you did as well. Many of you did, I'm sure. And I did pretty well, but I didn't really have that fire any longer by the time I was 15 or 16. Maybe it's because I realized I wasn't an elite athlete, and I certainly wasn't going to the Olympics, and probably could never have even earned like a D1 scholarship, a Division I scholarship. But more than anything else, I just lost the zest for playing sports other than recreationally. I could go on, but you see the point. It's not about all these other things. It's about what you yourself naturally gravitate towards, or that you find yourself returning to over and over again. What do you do regularly, daily perhaps? That's likely where your special gift or gifts tend to lie. The areas where you can be the most creative and contribute the most positive energy. In fact, you might even be, as I mentioned earlier, a creative genius in a couple of areas. By creative genius, I'm simply defining that as an area where, say, you're, 3 standard deviations above the norm. Right? That would put you in the top half of the top percent in a particular area. So if you have that level of ability in one or more areas, then you've sort of reached the genius level in that particular endeavor. But it doesn't matter. It's wherever you find passion in life. It's wherever you find you have a special gift that you can share, whether you're 3 standard deviations above the norm or not. So for example, my wife's a healer. She's many other things, but if I had to identify her superpower, it'd be in terms of her empathy and her healing capacity. Ticks off all the boxes above that I'd mentioned. Me? Well, I guess I'm a good teacher, at least at the university level. That might be a special area for me. The guy that I took my computer to 2 days ago struck me as a creative genius in terms of his knowledge and problem-solving abilities, which he shared with kindness. And that's an important dimension of this too. Some years ago, I was mesmerized by a guy who I watched put up crown molding in our living room. And he did so beautifully and perfectly. He was such an artist in terms of his craft. And he loved explaining that craft to me. So that's my final point. If you're passionate about something, and then if you love to share your gift with kindness, if it shines through when you're doing what you love, then that's probably one of your superpowers. And yes, you can have more than one. So please take from this vlog your own honest assessment of yourself without conceit. What are your special gifts? And I'd like to invite you then to share your gift or your gifts with others, with the world, and with kindness. And thereby, you'll be spreading your light as a metaphorical human sun, S-U-N, illuminating your corner of the sky. That's a nod to the 1972 musical Pippin, by the way. And then in the 4th and final vlog of this mini-series, I'll address why I think it's critical, now more than ever, to encourage as many people as possible to commit to their creative instincts and to be part of the long-term solutions to the problems that we inevitably face on the only planet that most of us will ever visit in this lifetime. Some of you may get off and find your way to, the moon or to another planet like Mars. But that's about as far as we'll be able to go, I think, at this stage of history. But in any event, until next time, may you and yours continue to create peace in your lives, nurture love in your hearts, and dole out hugs in abundance. I'll see you soon.